Hi everyone, and welcome to your TxRvAdventures instruction video. I'm Brittany. Behind the camera I have Lauren joining me today, and to my left we have a 2021 Thor motor coach we call Wendy. We're going to be going over the instructions for the inside and the outside of the RV. Feel free to stop, take notes, ask questions at pickup, and definitely refer back to this video while you are out with the RV on your vacation. We're going to start on the driver's side. This is where all of the connections are. And we recommend connecting all of your outside things before sliding out the RV. Just makes for a little bit easier access to get to all of the stuff here. First thing we're going to do is grab our power cable out of the storage. Connect one side of it here to the body. It's a twist lock. Twist lock that in. And then the other side is a 30 amp cable that looks much like this. Make sure that the power is off when you plug in, and then when you're plugged in, go ahead and flip that breaker at the campsite to the on position, and power will start to come into the RV. You'll know that you have power into the RV once the microwave shows the time clock. Okay, then you'll be able to turn on the ACs, have power outlets, and your televisions will start working. Now, if you do need any adapters such as 50 amps, please let us know and we can add those to your reservation. Next, we're going to add water. So on one end of the water that connects to the faucet fixture has a pressure regulator, and this pressure regulator will connect onto the fixture, restricts heavy flow from coming into the RV. And on the other side, right here, we're going to connect it to where it says City Water Connections. And that just screws on. This will allow water to flow into the RV without filling any of the holding tanks. This will just be for when you flush, water comes straight through the lines. This cap right here to the right, if you want to fill the holding tank before you leave a campground, you just stick this inside, okay? Still connected on the park side. And how do you know when it's full, Lauren?
Water's flowing out of the hole.
Yeah, so when this is full, there's a meter on the inside that will show you what the levels are, but basically you're going to know when water starts shooting out. Then it's a good time to go ahead and stop, turn off the water, you're ready to start driving. Now this is for when you are in motion and you turn on the water pump so you can flush the toilets in travel, or if you're boondocking, this is where you'll add the water. Now we will have this full at the pickup, so when you pick up the RV, this is ready to start using right away. Next thing we're going to do is septic. So just below the water, you'll see some labels here. One end of the sewer hose is going to have a little twist lock, and it has a gasket inside for a really tight seal. And then the other end is going to look like this. It's a clear end. And this goes to a PVC pipe in the ground where the waste and the water will all go down. Before connecting this hose, make sure that both of these handles are in the closed position, then take the cap off. Give it a quarter of a turn, locking this on. This silver gray handle is for your gray water. It's labeled inside. This is for sink and showers. This is okay to leave open and let the water flow through when you're at an RV park. And on the other side, you have the black handle, okay? So only opening one at a time. We suggest that you keep that gray open. That way you don't have anything backing up, like the shower, things like that will get really full really fast because people take long showers. So when you are ready to dump the black and the meter inside on the gauge shows full, we want a lot of pressure to break down the toilet paper, get everything off of the sidewalls. When you're ready to do that, make sure the gray is closed, pull the black, okay? Pulling the black, lots of pressure goes down the line. In this specific model, there is a second black valve that is just below the toilet. They want to make sure that when you're pulling this, that you are really ready to dump the black water, okay? So I'm gonna take you around the back of the coach and show you where that is. The second black handle is right here, and you'll see this 3-inch pipe. This is it. So give this a pull, and then you'll notice the flow will go down the line. If you notice that you are not getting the black to drain, it's still showing full, you have not pulled the second handle. Make sure you close both when you're finished. There is chemicals in the tanks when you pick up the RV. Okay, and so there are chemicals inside of here. We recommend that the night before you leave, close both of these and the last one. Let them both get really full. Then dump the black first, get all of the black sewer water out, close the black, and rinse your hose with the gray. What this will do is it will clean the lines before you store the hose into your storage compartment. And we'll talk about adding some extra chemicals and things into your tank as well when we get inside.
What's next, Brittany?
Okay, coming up next. So we're going to go ahead and go all the way down to the end, and we're going to talk about your generator. So lifting this compartment here, I've already removed the cover, and we're going to talk about the generator. Now this does run on the same fuel tank as the engine. So when you get to a quarter of a tank, this is going to shut off. We want to make sure that if you are stopping and boondocking or driving down the road, make sure you top off around the half and make sure you're full before you spend the night, because you don't want it to stop in the middle of the night from low fuel. There is a start and stop button here as well as on the inside. There is an altitude adjustment right here. So if you can see that. Right now, I have it set to sea level. Okay, that's here in Houston. But if I'm going up to Colorado, I need to raise it up to whatever the altitude is in that area, and it'll allow more oil and fuel to come down the line for this generator. In the summer, these use a lot of oil. The hotter it is, the hotter the temperatures. Okay, so the higher altitude, you're also going to use a lot more oil. So we want to keep an eye on this oil dipstick. And all you need to do is make sure that the RV is level and that the generator is cool. You don't want to test it when it's been running. So you'll be able to show whether it's full or if you need to add. Right now I'm full, so I just leave it and keep going. It's important to test it before you plan to run it for a long period of time. Okay, we do have extra generator oil in the storage. That way you can top it off if you notice that it starts to get low. There is one breaker right here. I'm going to give it a flip right there. And there's a little arrow here that shows you the breaker is right around the corner. So if you place your hand there, you can see it. This breaker is for if you overload the generator. So if you're overloading it, meaning you're running too many things at one time, it has a tendency to trip. If you leave on an appliance while you turn this generator off and you leave on the air conditioning and you go to turn this off, and it'll trip a breaker the next time you try to start it up because you're pulling too much load on the generator. So if you notice it starts up, you can hear the generator running, but you're not producing any power to your AC, make sure you come on out here and check this breaker. That's usually the problem. Okay. Next is your exhaust. Okay, this is where it's going to come out the hottest. Be careful, it's right by where you exit the vehicle. But if you notice that it's a really windy day and it goes back into the exhaust pipe, okay, this is going to set off the carbon monoxide detector. What we will suggest that you do, turn off the generator immediately, move the vehicle, turn it around so that the wind is not going into the pipe, it's actually exhausting the smoke away. Make sure that you put the cover on whenever you're finished checking everything. Don't leave it behind. It's really important so that this generator does not overheat, okay? Let me give this a close. Perfect. Going into storage here, Lauren's going to take you inside. This is the generator oil. All the storage compartments do have lights in them.
Now, what all can you fit in these storages?
Yeah, so barbecue grills, not really hard luggage. We suggest soft-sided things can go in here. Firewood is a big one we see in here all the time. Open this one. This is really nice. This is a big one. Yeah, we can definitely fit our grills in here. Good size. This is a smaller one, typically where your power cable will be. But this has the largest storage on this side here, where we've got the camp chairs and some pass-through space. Yeah, so if you have fishing poles or something like that, that's a perfect spot for it. And it's accessible on both sides. Just to my right here is the fuel. This is where you'll fill. It's at the back of the coach. The fuel size, the tank on this one is 55 gallons. So pretty good sized fuel tank. If you're running the generator, of course, you're going to eat into that fuel size a little bit more, right? You're going to be using more fuel than if you're just driving it. In the summer, you're going to be using it quite a bit to keep it cool inside the RV. So we're going to go to the back. We have the backup camera right here, perfect for if you're towing a vehicle or if you're attaching a bike rack. You can see that while you're driving. You can use the camera to look behind you as well as when you're parking. Right here is just a standard hitch receiver, okay? Let us know if you'd like to tow or attach the bike racks, and we'll unlock this hitch for you. Now, the size of the weight of the vehicle that can be attached here is 8,000 pounds. If you have questions about towing, just please give us a call. We can answer any questions for you. Okay. Any of the equipment as well, you can rent tow dollies or any of the equipment for towing at like a U-Haul. Ladder, there's nothing up there. This is just for air conditioning, maintenance, and service on the roof. We ask that you don't go up onto the roof, okay? When it's the heat of summer and the air conditioning condensation drips down, it can make the roof really slippery. Okay? Down below, we have our jacks. They are stabilizing jacks, and these are operated on the inside of the RV. Just a single button drops them down, helps stabilize the sway inside. This is where they're located. We're going to go around to the passenger side, where I'm going to give you guys the height. Okay, 11 feet. We strongly suggest giving yourself a good 13 feet. No Chick-fil-A drive-throughs. We want to swing nice and wide. Okay, preferably using truck stops. The length of this motorhome is 29 feet and the height 11. So tree scratches right here, be real careful. Mindful in your neighborhoods is when we see a lot of the damage occur, as well as not swinging wide enough here. Okay, so that's where we see a lot of that. Your awning is great. This is pretty much shading the whole RV. I have it out right now. Be mindful when you go away from the RV, bring it in. If you're going hiking at night when you go to sleep, do not leave it out, bring it in. These do not have wind sensors. So always make sure you have a good eye on the awning. Okay, storage right here. And then you've got a quick connect to a barbecue grill if you'd like to use the shared propane tank. Okay. We have the awning light just above us here. Perfect for if you want to cook out outside here and watch what we have, the TV. This is great. So we have an outside TV and sound bar that's Bluetooth. So if you're going to be sitting outside, look at that. That's fantastic. It's great. So watching, this is perfect for tailgating. You can put tons of stuff out here with these outside outlets. So you've got some more outlets right here. Really a great tailgating vehicle. Okay. Back of the refrigerator and your exhaust to the furnace. Okay, this is going to be really hot when you are using that furnace. Down below is the propane tank. We'll let Lauren show you inside here. Lauren, what is the size of this propane tank?
This is a 40-pound propane tank.
Okay, 40 pounds. This is a big tank for in the summer. This is going to be for the cooktop, as well as the refrigerator runs on propane. And this does use the furnace in the winter. So that's going to be where we use the most propane. The furnace does use a lot. Checking this gauge right here is where you see the truest read of the propane. There is a gauge inside, but we like to come out here and check to see when you get right around here, right around the quarter, you make sure you want to fill up and also return the vehicle back to us full. U-Hauls, truck stops, and sometimes your campground will even sell and fill propane. Making sure that it stays in the open position at all times because the refrigerator will turn off if we turn this off, okay? And this is where they're going to fill. If there's a licensed professional, they'll fill it for you. So you do not need to worry about filling that.
Now, these don't have any locks. Why is that?
This is because we want easy access into the propane tank so that we can shut it off and turn it at any time. Next is a really large storage right here, just outside the door. All right. And coming around the front. All right. We have an easy tag on the front of all of our motorhomes. So you can go on the Beltway, 99. Don't stop, just keep driving. Tolls are included. If you head out of the state, go through a turnpike or any kind of bridge, stop and pay those tolls separately. Each one of our TxRvAdventures motorhomes does have tire monitor systems. They're going to look like this. And this in real time is going to tell you the pressure that is in the tires on the vehicle. There are 6 tires to this, and there will be 6 monitors. Okay, when it is cooler out, the tires may shrink a little bit. When it's hotter, they may expand a little bit. A little bit of fluctuation is okay, but we want to monitor them at all times. And if you have questions about what the tire pressure should be, it's inside the driver door. We'll have a small sticker that'll tell you what the pressure of all these tires are set at. Let's have a look on the inside. Next, we're going to take a look at our control panel. When you enter the door, just to your right, you'll see that you'll have this control panel. This will be where your level gauges, generator, and a couple other switches for the RV. First, we're going to go over the generator. This is the time clock here, and we'll read this when you pick up the RV as well as when you check back in. This tells us how many hours you've ran the generator. To start the generator, hold down the stop button to prime it. This takes about 30 seconds. And then press and hold the start button until you hear it turn over. This is going to be for when you use any of the major appliances in travel, such as the televisions, the air conditioning, or any of your power outlets in the rear of the coach. So if you're boondocking or you're traveling, you'll likely want to put this on. And when you're ready to stop this, make sure that all of your major appliances are turned off. We don't want them to be on. When you turn them off, it's a little bit hard on the system and the compressors of the RV. I'm going to leave this on, and we're going to go and turn on the air conditioning and some other things and some other features in the RV. So we'll let this stay running. Next is all of the readings. So you've got your propane reading, your battery, fresh water in your holding tank, your black, and your gray. Okay, so these gauges will tell you how much is in each of your tanks. Next, you've got the water pump. Turning this on, and then the light will come on. That's how you know the pump is on. Make sure that if the pump is on, you have enough water in your fresh water holding tank. Whenever you are hooked up at a campground, be sure to turn this off. This is only for when you're in travel and you want to use it when you're not hooked up to the city water. Next is the hot water heater. This is dual hot water heater, so propane or electricity. When you get to your campsite, turn this on and leave it on. It'll take about 20 minutes to get a hot shower, so let that start warming up. I turn it off. Next here is your slides, so extending and retracting. Make sure that before you press this button, you remove the keys from the engine and you set the parking brake. You want to make sure you set your parking brake. We're also going to drop the jacks that are in the rear of the coach, the stabilizers, before we extend. We want to make sure that we are level and stabilized. Then you're going to do everything in reverse when it's time to leave. Retract, bringing in the slide, and then lifting up the jacks. Next, we're going to go down to some switches on the other side of the door. Starting from the bottom, these are your jacks. So by pressing these buttons, raises and lowers the stabilizing jacks in the rear of the coach. If you turn the engine on while the jacks are still down, you're going to hear a little bit of an alarm. That's to let you know not to drive away. It's a safety feature. So if you hear that, come back to the rear of the coach and press this button. Next, this is your main house batteries. This needs to be on at all times. We have step lights. This is for when you're entering the RV, as well as right here on the side. You've got a rocker switch right here that says awning. This is to bring the awning in and out. Again, keys need to be out of the ignition when you want to operate the awning. Some light switches here. This is going to be for your inside, as well as some of your outside lights. This tells you how much battery power you have in the coach at all times. Next, we're going to talk about your battery and a little bit of the safety features in the RV. Your battery is located at the steps right here, and this battery is for the rear of the coach. It will be charged anytime that you're driving or when you are plugged in at an RV park. It's going to recharge those batteries for you. Some things that run on the batteries are going to be the water pump, all of the 12-volt light system. So while you're driving, to have the lights on, you don't need to start up the generator. That all runs on the batteries. Okay. Next is some of our safety features here. Okay, so you've got a fire extinguisher here. We have a smoke detector. It's going to be right above me here. This is your smoke detector. And then we have a carbon monoxide detector for the propane. And that's going to be located right at the foot where the dinette is here. Okay. Perfect. Going around, we're going to hit the kitchen items. So good size kitchen. We've got a lot of storage. Let you see inside here. So these are fully stocked. For a list of what's included, please check the website, as well as you can ask us for a list of what's in the RVs. As well here, coffee makers, cleaning supplies here. Going down here as well, you've got your trash can and then a couple other drawers right here. And then you have, there you go, some extra counter space.
Now, how do you drop this little counter?
Oh, here we go. Ready? Lift up and lower. Okay.
Awesome.
Yep, some more storage down below here, and then you've got your cooktop. So this is all gas for the 3-burner cooktop as well as the oven. I'm going to show you how to light this. Press and hold in where you see the flame, and then use the sparker on the left to light the cooktop. I'll light a couple here. This is really important to light as well. After you have filled the propane, if you're on a longer trip and you need to top off your propane tank, we suggest that you come inside, run these for about 10 seconds or so, enough to get air out of the line. This is for all of the other appliances, such as the refrigerator. We want to make sure that there's no air in the line so they can properly function. You've got a little light switch here. And then Lauren's going to show you inside my Easy Bake Oven. All right, it is small, but I've seen people cook pizza, chicken nuggets, a lot of stuff in here. I've baked cookies in them. So it's doable, okay? There is a little bit of a trick to this. Press and hold in on the flame again for 30 seconds. And then at the back of the oven, you're going to see a little sparker. And that's the igniter. And I'm going to flip the sparker here until I see the flame appear. And then I'm going to slowly just increase the oven temps. Now, because this is a small oven, it heats up really fast, and you may want to adjust the cooking time or the temperature based on how small it is, so that you can cook things a little bit better. And then you can adjust as well this going up onto the next level. Perfect. Okay. Microwave here. And then we're going to go ahead and go on to the refrigerator. Now, while Lauren shows you inside this fridge here, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the refrigerator. It does have an off-on. This RV is going to have the fridge in the on position when you pick it up. It will be cold when you pick up the RV, and it takes about 8 hours to cool, so we don't suggest that you turn it off. If you are on an unlevel surface, such as a driveway, we suggest that you park out in the street. These will defrost if you are unlevel, and then therefore ruining all the food that's inside. So that is really crucial. When you're plugged in at an RV park, this runs on electricity, and when you're driving, it uses the battery, and it uses propane to cool. All right, moving on to the breaker box. Lauren's going to show you just under the bed, we have a breaker box. I like to show all of our renters where this is. In case they have any questions, they can refer back to this video and see where your main breakers are. This will be for your microwave, as well as some other larger appliances, such as the AC. Smaller things are on the breakers. The bigger things are on the breakers. The smaller is on these fuses. So like water pumps, things that are small will be on this. So if you have questions and you have something turn off on you, go ahead and check these breakers, check the campsite breakers, as well as the breaker on the generator. Generally, one of those has tripped. Okay, really important. Lauren's going to give you a view here of the king size bed. Love it. Love the king size bed, and a full wall of storage and closet space. Okay, it has closet space here, all of our towels and linens. Okay. And then right here we have a little small one as well. This is for the kitchen. It's a little pantry. To the left of the bed, you've got some outlets here she's going to show you for a CPAP machine. You've got a cigarette lighter, and then USBs. This does have a television in the master. This is where your AC is. Now, this is a single AC unit. I have the generator on. If I want to turn the AC on, just check it to cool, making sure not to freeze the RV and freeze the compressor. Keep it right around 68 or so. Again, make sure this is in the off position before you stop the generator, okay, or you unplug the RV from the campsite. This is just a light switch to your master bedroom. You have a small curtain here, giving you some privacy just in the bedroom area to get changed and to block off from if you're sharing the camper with someone else. Next stop, into the restroom. All right, I'm gonna take a dip. Here we go. I'm gonna get into the shower. We're gonna start in the shower. This shower is huge. Not only is it really tall, but it's just really big. It's really wide in here. So you can really lather up and shower in this. It's a great size. You've got your knobs to control the temperature here. Once you have the right temperature that you want, to conserve the water, there's a knob here. This will stop the flow of water while you wet yourself, then turn the water in the off position, keeping the temperature the same, lather yourself, and then start the flow back up when you want to rinse off. This helps when you're boondocking or dry camping not to run through so much of your water. And then you have a little curtain here. Oh, curtain. To the toilet. This is your restroom, okay? So I've got the water pump on right now. And when I push the toilet pedal, water is going to slowly fill. So if I press and hold like this just a little bit, it's going to start to fill up the bowl. We suggest you fill it before going to the restroom. These are not, they're not full when you're in travel, so it doesn't slosh around. When you want to flush, just push down on the pedal. Press and hold for about 10 seconds. Only RV toilet paper can go in here, and we'll show you where that is. So all of our rentals do come with RV toilet paper. And we suggest that once you've dumped your holding tank, that you come back into the coach, grabbing some dish soap and squirt it down into the tank and run a couple minutes worth of water, drive around, slosh till you get to the next campsite. It helps rinse off the tanks, okay? And then make sure you dump the tanks before bringing it back to us. Another small medicine cabinet here. And down below, we have a trash can because nothing besides the RV safe toilet paper can go into the toilets. So no flushable wipes. And just above me here, I have an exhaust fan. Okay, this is a twist, and then the fan will come on. You've got a fan to exhaust any of the steam in here. Make sure you close these before you drive. There's a couple other exhausts here. Make sure those are all down. Your GFCI for all of your wet outlets. This one's in the bathroom, but this controls the one outside the bathroom as well as in the kitchen. So if you go to plug your coffee maker in and you're not getting any power, likely just press the reset button. This is much like your home. Reset it and you should have power back on to these outlets.
Now, what happens when it is dusty?
Ooh, dust. All right. So when it's dusty, this air conditioning does not perform like it should, okay? This AC has some filters here. As you can see, my filters are really clean right now, okay? If you need to, take these down, rinse them out in some water, and then pat them dry and put them back in. If a lot of dust when you're opening and closing these doors gets in, it will stop the air conditioning from producing as much power as it should, okay? So if you're on these long trips, maintenance is kind of crucial, okay? Next is the flow of air. So when this is open, this produces all the air dropping down to the center, cooling the RV the fastest. And at night, I like to close these off and then push the air into the other vents throughout the RV, pushing the air towards the master bedroom. Another way to keep the camper nice and cool, right here, bringing down all of your blinds. Stopping the heat during the hottest part of the day is also really important. So just pull down on them like this. Helps keep it cool in here. Now we're going to take a look at all the additional storage and sleeping spaces. Up here we have some extra storage. Just below that, we have this counter here that has 2 cup holders and a power tower for the person staying on this jackknife sofa. To make this into a bed, remove these 2 side cushions and set them aside. Much like a futon, just lift and lower, okay? Some extra space here to put your books, laptops, computers. This makes into just about a full-size bed, and it has storage even underneath as well. Now, these seatbelts are anchored to the ground, and there are 2 seatbelts on the sofa itself. The next sleeping space is going to be the dinette. The dinette does turn into another bed. There's a handle right here you're going to loosen up and turn, and this will shimmy down, and it will rest nicely on these holders right here, this ledge. So just kind of lift these up and push it all the way down. Once you have it all the way down, you're going to take these end cushions and put them right here over the top, and this will create a full bed. Raise it when you're not using it and lock it back into place. Last but not least, the queen size bed over the cab. There is a ladder to access this queen size bed. Right here. So this gives you, this RV gives you 4 separate sleeping spaces. I like this because this TV is for the living room, as well as if the person is staying up here, this swivels back and they can have their own TV, as well as the person in the bedroom can have their own TV. So this is perfect for multiple people staying in it, 2 couples or kids having their own to connect some of their devices. So I'm going to show you how to connect some of the stuff in the upper cabinet. Just to the right of the TV, you have power outlets. You have a way to connect your HDMI. If you want to bring a PlayStation, a Roku Fire Stick, or connect a computer to it. Right where this plug is here, there is a green, gotta get you close here. There is a green light, and this turns off and on the digital antenna on the roof. Now for us, we want it on because we are going to learn how to scan for channels. But if you are using the coax outside, make sure you turn it off to use their channels. Your HDMI is right here. Okay, this is a matrix box where you can plug in your PlayStations. Next, we're going to go over how to scan for channels on the TVs. I'm going to power this on, and in each new city, you're going to want to scan for channels to pick up the local TV stations. So what you want to do is grab your remote and click the menu button, scrolling over until you get to channels. If I want to scan using the antenna on the roof, that would be considered air. If I'm plugged in with a coax cable, that would be cable. So for now, I am going to use the antenna on the roof and press auto scan. Yes, I want to start scan, and it'll start checking for channels that are in the area. This could take a few minutes. So while this is scanning, what we're going to do is talk about the in-motion Wi-Fi. So in-motion Wi-Fi is going to be underneath the dash, and there is a code reader that's connected to the engine. And when the vehicle is in the on position and you are in motion, it will pick up mobile hotspots. Okay, so if you're in an area that doesn't have a lot of cell service, you may lose Wi-Fi for a brief moment until you get back into a Wi-Fi signal. When you get to the RV park, turn the engine off, and then you'll connect onto the campsite's Wi-Fi. Okay, so right now I'm scanning. I'm starting here. It's gonna see I've got 16 channels right now. Okay, so you just let it keep scanning, and you'll pick up a bunch of channels. Oh, there it goes. Perfect. So I'm gonna stop this because it'll just take a little while to keep going here. So turn that off. Push this back. You can set this here, that way the person can watch it. Perfect. There is a knob that tightens this, and it's just up top right there. It doesn't swing while it's in motion. Next is the privacy curtain to the front cab. There is going to be a privacy curtain in one of your compartments, and that goes across the front where this Velcro is, and it'll stop anybody from going and seeing inside the front cab. So that's the only way to give this privacy, and also stop letting a lot of that sun in because that gets really hot in here.
Now what about privacy for the upper cab?
Yeah, privacy for the upper cab does have a curtain as well. Next, we're going to talk about the front cab area. As you can see, I have the seat pushed forward. Okay, I am short. I was the last person to drive this, but if you're tall and you have this seat pushed back, when you do try to pull the slide back in, you're gonna hit the seat. So be sure when you're ready to slide out or leave, anything like that, that this seat is in the forward-most position that it can be before you attempt to slide. Okay. Really important. Coming around to the front cab here, we have the radio. I'm going to press the power button. Okay, perfect. So this is all of your radio channels. Pressing the home button will bring you to where you can connect your Bluetooth as well as your backup camera here. So when you select this, when the engine is on, you'll be able to view the rear camera. Next is a reset button. There's a small little button here. You can stick a pen in, hold it in for 10 seconds, and that will reset the radio if it freezes. We see a lot of radio freezing when people do not turn off the radio once they have parked the vehicle, because this does still run on the battery. So you want to make sure it's off, not draining your battery. Next, you've got your hazards. Important to know where those are. Some extra outlets here, and then this is your dash AC. This is only going to cool the front of the cab, the generator, and the air conditioning in the back is for the rear of the coach. You will have something that looks similar to this that's going to be in your RV. When the engine is on and the vehicle has the tires in motion, you will see the pressures displayed on this screen. So you have to be in motion. If they become full and the tires are getting a little hot and it'll start to alarm, you can press the mute button in the back. If you notice that it keeps going off, you may want to pull over, let a little air out, or if it's low, put a little air in. But it's the way for you to monitor the tires at all times. Now I am going to start the engine so that you can hear the sound that it makes when you do leave those jacks down, okay? So I have my jacks down, I'm slid out. You're gonna hear a small alarm that goes off, okay? This is if you leave those jacks down. So it's a safety reminder. Just go in the back, lift them back up again. To my left, all of your lights and your parking brake set is going to be down below right here. A couple last things before we end the video here is going to be some of your, there's 2 other seat belts right here. So 2 here and 2 on the sofa. Okay. This does lift up if you do want more headspace as well. It's going to lift up here and set it back down. A lot of people use this for extra luggage. Put things up here if you're not using it while in travel. A lot of storage space. You've got some vents here. And another exhaust vent just over the kitchen. So if you're cooking bacon, things like that, you can exhaust everything out. Okay, last thing to note, right now I have the RV fully slid out. So you didn't watch me push the slide out, but I am going to show you some things. So again, drop the jacks first, then slide out the RV. This RV requires the bed to be folded when, so you'll lift and fold when it's in position. So only when it's out will you have the bed down. So remember, when you're ready to leave, lift the bed back up, slide the slide out in, and then raise the jack. Now we're going to go over some of our favorite things that we love about these RVs. We like to tell all of our renters what we love about the RVs. That way they know what some of our favorite features are, and we're in them the most. So I'm going to let Lauren go first and let her show you her favorite feature.
My absolute favorite feature is this right down here. I just love how it has a little wine rack and a pull-out drawer for your coffee. I just think it's the cutest thing.
Yeah, it's a really great detail that Thor did on this one, and that is special. I don't see that in a lot of them. I have 2, one being the king size bed. We love a good king size bed. Not all RVs have it, so for a smaller RV that's not a really big length or not a big motorhome, to get a king size bed is pretty rare. So I love that. And my second, I'm going to cheat and have 2 televisions. There are 3 TVs, one in the master, one over the cab, and we can't forget about the one outside for tailgating. So we hope you love this RV, and we can't wait to see you at pickup.